What's up guys, Kyle here again, and today we are taking a look at the Marshall JVM410HJS 410. I said that backwards, I don't even care. Let's do it. Alright, hope you guys are doing great out there today. If this is your first time here at my channel, my name is Kyle, and what I do is I take awesome high-gain amps, overdrives, guitars, cabs, speakers, pickups, I record them through a simple SM57 setup, and I give you guys the unprocessed audio on your end. So if you're into E-standard thrash riffs, drop C hardcore riffs, and dudes whose hands are already on fire because they haven't played guitar in 3 weeks, you're in the right place! Consider hitting the like button and subscribing on the way out so you don't miss any more of my stuff. Thanks! Alright guys, glad to have you back. This is actually the first video that I am recording in quite a while. Been on a little summer vacation and just kind of been burning through the videos that I already had recorded. So today we are taking a look at the limited edition Joe Satriani version of the Marshall JVM410H. First thing that's different about this amp right off the bat is it's got a noise gate built in that is in between the preamp and the loop, so it makes the amp dead silent when it is on, and it's got a control for each individual channel of all 4 channels on the amp. I actually think that that is an awesome feature, and the noise gate works extremely well. So just wanted to throw that out there right off the bat. That is going to be the main difference. There are also some small voicing tweaks on the HJS to get it a little bit more to Joe's liking for what he likes to do. There is a mid-shift button here in the middle on your 2 OD channels. So overall, most people say that this amp is a little bit warmer and a little bit less sterile, a little less solid state sounding than the Marshall JVM 410, the regular version. As you guys know, if you have watched my previous video on that amp, you will know that I personally am not a huge fan of it. I don't feel like it has a natural feel or sound to it. It's very sterile, it's very thin, and it's very brittle. It's kind of hard to get things sounding the way that I like them when I am playing a Marshall with some high gain. It just never quite worked for me, for my personal taste. I will tell you that I like this amp better already, but it still kind of suffers from some of the same shortcomings in my opinion. But with that being said, we've got a ton of different stuff to cover on this amp, so I'm not gonna talk much today. I am going to say, if you have never seen any of my videos here before, I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, I am not here to play classic rock. I am not here to play 80s hair metal and leads. That is just not what I do. So if that's what you guys are hoping to hear, you can go ahead and click off. Or you can do like a lot of other people do, continue to watch the whole video and then leave me angry comments about why I didn't play your favorite riff on the planet. I am absolutely fine with you doing that because it helps with the YouTube engagement and algorithm. So feel free to leave me angry comments below if you do stick around and your ears don't work so good at listening to things. But if you are a fan of E-standard thrash riffs and drop C hardcore riffs, like I say in the beginning of every video, you're in luck. So let's go over to the crunch channel on this thing. For that intro clip, I was using just the regular mode on the Boss SD1 Wazacraft, and then we've got my Gallagher Typhon with a Seymour Duncan distortion in the bridge. I have not touched this guitar in weeks. I picked it up and it was perfectly in tune. So that's a testament to how awesome these Gallagher guitars are. Let's go ahead and turn off this overdrive. The gate is not engaged. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna put everything at noon except for the volume. I'm gonna put the gain down at 9 o'clock. We're gonna go to the green mode. Each channel on this amp has 3 different modes, a green, an orange, and a red. So there is just a ton of stuff built into these JVM amps. And like I said, we've got a lot of ground to cover, so I'm gonna shut up. We're gonna turn the amp on. All right, so here is what we have. No boost out front, everything at noon, gain at 9 o'clock on the crunch channel. Very kind of chimey, slightly overdriven type tone. Let's get that gain at noon. Woo! We are too loud now. That is definitely going to be your gain level, but this is really full for a Marshall crunch channel. Typically Marshall crunches or crunch tones are not all that full. I forgot to pull the resonance and presence back to noon, but we'll just leave them right in that area because I think that they work fine there. I'm going to bump up the mids and pull the treble back. That is much more what I'm used to from a Marshall crunch tone. That actually sounds quite good. Really, really good, kind of classic, almost like a JVM410 style tone, but we can pull that bass up and it fills it out nicely. Really nicely. In fact, let's go ahead and pull that up a little bit more, get a little bit more mid and a little bit more gain. Ah, that's a great rock and roll crunch style tone. But I don't want to spend too much time on one setting, so let's go ahead. We're just going to go over to the orange. I'm not going to touch any of the controls. We're going to see how it sounds just going from green to orange. That's pretty high gain for a crunch channel. Now, you can hear the distortion or the channel noise coming through the speakers. Let's go ahead and kick on the gate threshold. Let's dial that up, and the amp is silent. Awesome. That gate works really well. I've got my Rev G8 on my pedal board, as always, out in front of the amp, so we are dead silent, even though the amp is on and it is loud. All right, so that is definitely more of a compressed style crunch tone. We could probably get a little bit more treble, a little bit more mid, a little bit less bass, and a little bit more gain. So something I've always noticed with the JVM is it seems to kind of lack that upper mid-range grind that Marshalls are just famous for. Like, the Marshall voicing is in there, but that mid-range that really is almost kind of grating and harsh on the ears, it's almost like a snarl. It's kind of not there in these amps, in my opinion. That's just my opinion, but I feel like they kind of lack that. It's almost been smoothed out a little bit, and in this amp, I've noticed it as well. It just does not seem to be there. Let's go over to the red channel. That's the red channel without touching anything. We are very loud. Pull that back a little bit. That actually reminds me of really pushing the gain on a JVM410. It kind of fattens and compresses things out. But when you pull it back, it definitely removes a lot of that compression and that extra low end. So let's actually add some low end on the EQ. Very bright up top. Let's pull that top end back. All right, so I am digging that. Let's kick on an overdrive that's got some output to it though, and see how it handles being boosted by a hotter overdrive. Let's go with the Mesa Grid Slammer. The Grid Slammer definitely has a good amount of output. So definitely very high gain there. Let's try scooping the mids out a little bit. All right, let's see if we can get some classic 80s thrash tones. All right, so this thing can definitely do the Metallica thing. Plenty of low end too. Let's get a little less middle, a little less bass. That's just the crunch channel, guys, and we're doing high gain 80s and early 90s thrash metal tones with ease with a boost out front. Very cool. Time to go over to OD1 because I already feel like I'm spending too much time on one setting. So let's get everything to noon on OD1. Let's go to the green mode. Let's turn our overdrive off. Ooh, very harsh, very kind of clanky. Oh, the mid shift's on. Much better. That actually sounds pretty good, but still a little bit bright. Let's pull that treble back. Mids up, bass up. Gain's already at noon. Why not? Let's try something a little different. Nice and kind of clanky, almost like a crunch style tone. Very bright, very chimey. There definitely is more of that upper mid aggression that you're used to from Marshalls on this amp. I'm a fan. Let's get that bass up. Let's get that gain way up. Let's try to get some saturation out of this bad boy. Much like the red setting, I'm gonna go ahead and engage that noise gate, and our noise is gone. Much like the red setting on the crunch channel, the green setting on this channel definitely can overcompress and get really fat by pushing the gain really far, so you gotta keep that gain low or else it kind of starts to sound tubby and gross. Again, a nice kind of like a, I would say an 800 range of tone and gain. Green setting, OD1, not bad at all. Let's go ahead and kick it over into the orange channel. A little bit more modern and a little bit more gain, but not a lot. Let's bump it up even more. Let's hit that OD or the noise gate. I don't know why I want to call everything an OD. So lots of low end the way that we have it set it now. I did the intro to this video on this channel with an overdrive out front, and I actually think that it sounded great. Let's go ahead and lower that bass. A little muffled the way it sounds now. Let's dial up some presence. Much like the original JVM, I don't like where the presence is on this amp. It accentuates not that high top end crispy fizzy sound like on a Mesa or a PV, which is what I'm personally accustomed to. It's definitely set a little lower. Let's use the treble to brighten it up a little. That's better. All right, let's kick in that mid switch. So that kind of seems like it accentuates the very upper mids and also the lower mids and kind of scoops out a little of the mids in the middle mids. Gives it a little bit more of that grunt in the low mid section. Let's actually scoop those out a little bit. Let's kick on an overdrive. A little bit clanky and gross sounding in the upper mids. But overall, I like it. It got kind of a nasty little, I don't know, just snarl to it. I actually like that a lot. A lot. Let's go over to the red. Okay, we've got a ton of gain because the noise just came on. All right, let's kick the noise gate back in. Let's lower the gain. All right, we've got some punch and we've got some compression going on. I'm liking this. like that, and then you stop and it's completely dead silent because the built-in noise gate. I like that a lot. There is a little bit of that upper mid, lower high frequency harshness that I talk about on the regular JVM going here for sure. In a band setting, it's probably gonna cut really well, but by yourself, it's not nice on the ears in the room. I notice it every now and then when I hit certain notes, but finally, let's go over to OD2. I was having a lot of fun on OD1. I'm a little bummed to leave that channel, but we gotta cover everything. So let's go to the green channel on OD2. Let's kick in that noise gate right away. We're gonna leave the gain right there around 11 o'clock. Here's what we got. Okay, very similar to what we had on OD1, maybe a little bit more gain. Very bright up top. Let's pull that back, a little bit more mid, a little bit more low end. I actually almost feel like there's less gain on this one. Then you hit that point where it's like you're taking the bright cap out of the circuit, much like you would on a JCM 800. Things darken up, they fatten up. Lots more low end response. Let's pull the low end back. Let's get a little bit more treble. I am not mad at how that sounds. Let's actually try a different overdrive. Let's try the KHDK Ghoul Screamer. Let's get a little bit of compression going on the Ghoul Screamer. Oh, that is a ripping tone right there. That sounds really good. That is just the green setting on this channel, guys, and it sounds nasty. It sounds absolutely nasty. Let's go over to the orange. Let's kick our overdrive off. I'm not gonna touch anything else. I'm just gonna, again, turn that noise gate on. All right, so we've got a lot of compression, a lot of gain. All right, pull it back just a bit. Oh, that sounds really good. Let's hit that mid switch. For me, man, personally, that mid switch is not something that I'm gonna use a whole lot. This amp on OD2, guys, sounds ridiculous, especially if you're looking for more of a traditional Marshall tone. It just sounds better, sounds more natural, and sounds more like an older Marshall than the regular JVM410. This is a really great amp. I'm having a lot of fun. Let's get a little bit more. Let's actually just hit it with that same KHDK overdrive. We'll get a little bit more low end. We'll put a little treble out of there. Great thrash tone, still has a little bit of roundness on the bottom end and maybe not quite as much saturation as I'd like. Let's kick it up. Absolutely nasty. I'm running out of time, guys. This video is approaching 30 minutes of recording time at the moment. Let's get over to the red channel. I'm just gonna leave the overdrive on. Nasty, nasty tone, and it's completely silent as soon as you stop playing. That built-in gate is incredible. We're gonna go from the KHTK over to the Boss SD1, and we are going to hit the Digitech drop pedal on the back here, and one riff in drop C, and then we're gonna call it a day. Alright guys, that is going to do it for me today on the Marshall JVM410HJS. I got it right that time. What did you guys think about this amp? Let me know down in the comments. Have you ever played this amp or heard it in person? There are not many of these floating around out there. This is kind of like the highly coveted version of the JVM410H, and it is a limited edition. So me coming across one of these again is probably gonna be a little bit tough. They definitely sell for a high price, but in my opinion, it is worth the difference in cost for that gate and for the revoiced overdrive channels for sure over the original version. So I personally am a fan, if you couldn't tell throughout the video. But as always, I really wanna know how you guys felt about it. Leave me a comment down below, letting me know what you think about the tones that I was able to accomplish here. Or if you have experience with the amp yourself, let me know what your experience was, and I'll meet you down there to chat about it. If you would like to support the channel and what it is I do here, down in the description of this video are all my support links, including my Sweetwater affiliate link. You go over to Sweetwater, you talk to them better than I'm able to talk right now, get yourself something nice, and I get a little kickback. It costs you guys nothing extra, and it greatly helps the channel move forward. We both win, and I would really appreciate it. Or down below the description of this video, I have Belligerent Amateur merch, so if you want to pick up yourself a t-shirt, a tank top, a coffee mug, a hoodie, any of that stuff, all of that stuff helps out tremendously, and I love seeing you guys in the Belligerent Amateur merch. So be sure to shoot me some pics of you guys in the Belligerent Amateur merch, and I will be sure to feature you at the end of the next Back in Friday video. And thanks so much for watching, guys. Kyle here again. We'll see you next time.
You know what this wall is missing? Another amp. There we go.